Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be diving into some really fascinating information on how our hormones control our hunger and satiety and how we can master them so that we can achieve optimal body composition and optimal health. Because understanding these hormonal processes can really help us to make more informed choices about our diet and our lifestyle. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is the ventromedial hypothalamus. This is the area in the brain that plays a crucial role for signaling hunger and satiety. When it's active, it's going to tell our body to stop eating. For example, after a satisfying meal, this is the region that helps you feel full and content, which is going to prevent you from reaching for that extra slice of cake on top of the meal you just had. Right? So next, we're going to go into the insular cortex. The insular cortex is a region which processes the tactile sensations, which is like how our food feels as we chew it. Basically, the overall consistency of it, the tactile. For example, the creamy texture of, let's say, cottage cheese, which signals to your brain that you're enjoying food, if you enjoy this specific texture, of course, which can enhance satiety compared to something crunchy like a saltine cracker. Some people enjoy eating just for the mere fact of how it feels, and they can easily overconsume because of something like this. Again, this is the insular cortex who is responsible for processing the tactile sensations. Next, we're going to go into the arcuate nucleus and neurons. So let's discuss the arcuate nucleus, which contains two important types of neurons, PMOC neuron and AGRP neurons. These are the ones we're going to go over today. PMOC stands for pro-opioid melanocortin, and these neurons produce alpha melanocyte stimulating hormone, also known as alpha MSH. So this hormone actually helps reduce appetite. So let's say, for example, after very high in protein, your PMOC neurons MSH production to make you stop eating. And AGRP neurons are the ones that stimulate eating. Neurons can stimulate that desire to eat if you haven't had a meal in, let's say, 5, 6, 7 hours. For instance, if you're feeling stressed before a big presentation and you've been so focused on completing the presentation, practicing for the presentation, you haven't had time to eat, AGRP levels may spike, making you crave your comfort foods. The levels rise significantly when we're fasting, which increases after eating. We released from an area called the medial pituitary gland, and it's also activated by UV light exposure to the eyes. So getting plenty of sunlight, like let's say as soon as you wake up, you go outside for a walk, you're getting that direct sunlight to your eyes, just even 10-15 minutes, that's going to help to actually manage your hunger more effectively, because that sunlight to your eyes stimulates MSH. MSH helps you control your cravings, control your hunger. Some subcultures have actually been using MSH injections to suppress hunger, but this can result in, some people would say, benefits such as increased tan skin and increased libido. However, it can lead to issues like priapism in males, which can be physically damaging to their areas. So it's essential to be cautious with these methods. I don't recommend these methods. They have not been looked into enough. But it is important to also understand that some subcultures are using these because of the benefits that MSH has within our bodies. But I definitely go the more natural route, just get that sunlight. Now we're going to move on to ghrelin. Ghrelin is spelled Ghrelin. This is a hormone that is released from the gastrointestinal tract that increases your desire to eat. For example, when your stomach is empty and your blood glucose drops, ghrelin rises. A low glucose level stimulates ghrelin, making you think about your favorite foods, again, just like AGRP. It can trigger cravings based on food anticipatory signals, such as those meals you look forward to eating at a specific time. Let's say it's Friday night, and Friday nights you go to your favorite steakhouse and you get steak, mashed potatoes, whatever it may be, whatever your favorite meal at that point in time is, it sends signals based on those cravings. Ghrelin's connection to eating schedules are pretty interesting because if you maintain regular eating schedules, ghrelin secretion can align with those times, which would even override low glucose levels. Basically, even if your glucose level is not low, but you consistently eat at that same time of the day, your certain meal, let's say you eat breakfast at 8 a.m. every day, then you have lunch at 1 p.m. every day, and you have dinner at 5 p.m. every day, give or take 20-30 minutes. Ghrelin can become accustomed to these eating schedules and start being triggered basically at those times, even if your glucose levels are not low. So it'll make you feel hungry even when you haven't physically worked up an appetite yet. The next hormone also comes from the GI tract, and it has the same effect as MSH. Basically, CCK, again, that is CCK. This hormone is potent in reducing hunger and is actually stimulated by fatty acids, amino acids, and sugars. Not saying that you should consume sugars to stimulate CCK. Let me make that clear. But for example, a meal rich in healthy fats like avocado or maybe olive oil will help boost CCK levels and make you feel fuller for a longer period of time. For fatty acids, specifically, I could suggest omega-3 and conjugated linoleic acid, also known as CLA. These two are fatty acids that help to promote the release of CCK, which ultimately helps to curb your appetite and prevent overconsumption, because that hormone CCK is stimulated by these fatty acids and amino acids. So understanding the science behind our hormones like MSH, ghrelin, and CCK and AGRP can really help us to understand the science behind overconsumption, satiety, hunger, and it's going to allow you to take control if you really understand this and implement it in a way where it benefits you. It's going to help you take control of your hunger and satiety signals. By mastering these hormonal processes, we can work towards achieving our body composition goals more effectively. That's why I think it's important to understand the science, but also natural ways of stimulating these hormones. Like I spoke about earlier, getting that 15-minute walk in during the day as soon as you get up, or whenever you can, as long as there's sunlight. Just try to get that sunlight directly to your eyes. Don't sit there and stare at the sun, obviously, but that direct contact is going to help stimulate MSH. MSH is going to help you control your hunger cravings, control you from over-consuming. Kind of like the famous semaglutide that everyone is using nowadays. This is like a natural way to stimulate that hormone. So I hope you guys found this information helpful. I think it's really important that we understand it and utilize it to our advantage, really understanding the science of weight management, weight loss, natural remedies is going to help us reach optimal health levels and reverse the time clock of aging. So for more longevity and health and natural tips, stay tuned for more videos. We'll see you in the next one.